Year's Day in 2015 in some parts of the world. Unfortunately here we still have a good few hours to go, just what, 8.5. So we're gonna, what better time to run down on my favourite movies of the year, and on the last day. So let's get right into it. So 2014 was a pretty damn spectacular year for cinema, and as such I'm going to cheat a little bit and throw in a couple more movies than would be standard in a top 10. Well, first of all, I should point out there are movies that I missed out on that some people might think like, oh my god, how could you have missed this one? Like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I missed it, still haven't seen it. Palo Alto, haven't seen. Ida, 2 Days, 1 Night, Force Majeure, or Force Majeure, I don't know how you pronounce it, or Only Lovers Left Alive, and a smattering of others I haven't yet caught up on. So they might have made this list if I had seen them, but other than that, these films are my sort of special mentions, the ones coming up just now. 22 Jump Street, Nightcrawler, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Oculus, Chef, Birdman, Foxcatcher, Cavalry, and Interstellar. I think that's everything that I would class as a special mention. So yeah, let's get down to the top 10. Now at number 10 I'm going to cheat once more, in the sense that I can't split these two movies. I've got a tie at number 10. So number 10, I'm going to start with Edge of Tomorrow, which whoever did the trailer for this deserves to be sacked because it looked absolutely dreadful. And it turned out to be funny, intelligent, and completely engaging, despite the fact that it was repeating its battle scenes. It was kind of like Groundhog Day doing an action film, and it never seemed to get boring. So it really deserves to be there as one of the top blockbusters of the year. So yeah, I'm going to include it. And my joint top 10 is probably a little bit more controversial. I'm sure like Nolan fanboys out there will think like, how could you not include Interstellar but you included this? You fucking dick! But I just had an absolute blast watching it, and that would be Into the Woods.
Into the woods to grandmother's house!
Stop it. Just... Now you're certain of your way?
The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should.
There really isn't too much to say about this. I mean, either you're a musical fan or you're not, so you're either going to love it or hate it. But then again, I suppose you could break it down further as to whether you're a fan of the stage version and if you like the changes they made. But I went into it pretty much just hoping that Anna Kendrick was going to be good because I'm a fan. And Chris Pine steals the show. That's really all you need to know. Chris Pine steals the damn show. It's brilliant. So number 9, now we're getting into a more traditional list where I've just got them all placed at where they should be. This film was my number 1 at one point, and it is Enemy.
You don't go to the movies, do you? I don't go out that much. Is there a reason why you're asking me this? You know, maybe you had a recommendation.
Unlike The Double, which also came out this year, Enemy explores the whole idea of the doppelganger in something which seems far more menacing, far more tense, and like there's a real sense of danger about it.
Danger, danger, fucking danger.
What the fuck are with those spiders? The cinematography, it makes Toronto look like it's just sick, like it's got some sort of fever. And for those who say Jake Gyllenhaal was great in Nightcrawler, he's far better here.
Why'd you come looking for me? I needed to know. I have some questions for you.
Who are you?
What's wrong? You're crazy.
I'm crazy!
Nick Dunn, you're probably the most hated man in America right now. Did you kill your wife, Nick?
So David Fincher decides to adapt one of the most popular thriller books of recent memory with Girl in the title, and completely outdoes himself than he did with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Maybe getting Gillian Flynn, or Gillian Flynn as I always thought it would be, but apparently not, to write the screenplay helped in translating some of the story elements from the page onto the screen, but the performances are really what solidify this. Ben Affleck is probably the best he's ever been, and Rosamund Pike just fucking nails it as, well, I can't really say too much because, you know, if you've read the book or you've seen the movie, you'll know that Number 7 is a film which I only just recently caught up on, and didn't look too great to me. It didn't look bad, but word of mouth sort of got me interested, and that is Pride.
I guess we're just... I think I'm starting to freak out slightly.
It's a true story about gay rights activists deciding to come together and help the miners during the strike under the Thatcher government, and to know that this story is true is just so heartwarming. It's the feel-good movie of the year. Like, there's that caption has to go somewhere, and it goes to Pride. Marvel take a bunch of essentially ragamuffins that nobody's heard of from a comic book that nobody's read and make the best blockbuster of the summer. Go figure. Not much needs to be said about this movie other than it's not only the scariest movie of this year, but the scariest movie of God knows how long. I can't even remember the last time I watched a movie and woke up in the middle of the night and struggled to get back to sleep just from stuff playing in my head. But The Babadook, thanks.
What do you want?
You can bring me the boy. You can bring me the boy. You can bring me the boy.
Just let him! Just let him!
You can't get rid of the Babadook.
Number 4 is the Lego Movie. It's guaranteed best animated movie of the year, guaranteed for that Oscar. Put your house on it right now. It is the funniest movie of the year. It's got a great voice cast. It looks spectacular. Lord and Miller seem to be constantly on fire, and they just do it once again here. And everything is awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love this song!
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool with my part of the team. Everything is awesome.
Number 3 is a movie which might divide a few people. I can see why this is not for everyone. But it just, when I watched it, felt like I was watching something completely new, something that I haven't seen before. And that would be Under the Skin. Parts of the film are terrifying. Parts of the film are emotional. It looks stunning. When you consider that a lot of it was filmed through hidden cameras, the fact that they made a film which is as visually arresting as this one is almost unbelievable. Scarlett Johansson is perfect as the silent killer, almost, who sort of realizes her humanity. But really, it's those dark room sequences that are just going to stick with you the longest, and they're phenomenal. Number 2 on my list was number 1 for so long. It was number 1 the minute I saw it, and it was number 1 all the way through for most of the year, from about July up until maybe about 2 weeks ago. It's a film which I personally haven't lived through the events in the film, but something about it made me feel that yeah, they took that from my life. That happened to me and my brother when we were kids, and I've had that conversation with my dad, and you know, there was like a nostalgic element, despite the fact that I didn't grow up in America and my parents didn't get divorced, and my mum never brought in, thankfully, a stepfather who turned out to be a bit of a bastard. Like, these things didn't happen in my life, and yet there are still moments which not just ring true in terms of believability on screen, but just click in the back of your head and think, yeah, that I'm sure that happened to me. And that would be Boyhood. Just give Richard Linklater whatever the hell he wants. The man puts magic on screen, especially when he works with Ethan Hawke. If you thought Tape was good, or the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight trilogy was going to be like the grandest statement of his career, you're so wrong. Like, Boyhood is a phenomenal achievement, and it literally is a documentary through fiction. There's going to be parts of this movie which you think, that happened to me. The performances are all around great, especially from the kids who, you know, they kind of gambled on, are they going to turn out to be good actors, or are they going to just turn out to be a bit hopeless? But they both turn out to be spectacular. That's the son and the daughter. And it's just a film, like, I know it's called Boyhood, but it's about family life and growing up, and whether or not you've lived the exact experiences or not, there are going to be moments that you think, that happened to me, or that's like what happened to me, or that's, it's just got this huge nostalgic element to it.
Who do you want to be, Mason? What do you want to do?
I want to take pictures. Make art.
Any dipshit can take pictures, Mason. Art. That's special. What can you bring to it that nobody else can?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Its scale is so grand while telling this intimate story. There's really no other way to put it. And number 1, the film that knocked Boyhood from the top with mere weeks to go in the year, or mere days even, is probably the tensest movie of the year. It's probably got my favourite performance of the year. It's got my favourite sequence of the year. I remember literally going to take a drink in the cinema and realising my jaw was just... there's no words to tell how good this movie is. It's probably my favourite movie this decade so far. Definitely a challenger. And that would be Whiplash. Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and a drum set. That movie is, like, that's all you needed. They have all this other stuff going on, but that was all they needed, because those scenes are electrifying. It's kind of strange in the sense that the most sort of like self-indulgent notion of music in the drum solo, because I mean, I've listened to them before. I think they're so boring, and yet they make this movie about a drummer, and it's the most exciting movie I've seen in so long. It tells you all you need to know about the performances, the direction, the editing, the screenplay, like how they tell this story to make essentially a machine that does a beat, or an instrument that does a beat and performs nothing more than just that rhythm, ended up being so musical and so vibrant is phenomenal. And it's got, you know, those funny moments as well. Like, you laugh at some of the stuff J.K. Simmons says, and then you think, oh, don't know about that. And of course, there's I can't remember it word for word, but the saying, if you have no talent, you become a rock drummer. And that's what this movie feels like. It's just saying to everyone else, you know, you can go ahead and you've got all the tools, you can make your film. We're going to be the jazz drummer of the group. We're going to be the show-offy, but fancy, talented. We know exactly what we're doing. And that's Whiplash. It's just phenomenal.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging?
So that's my top 10/11, because I cheated with a joint, of the year, with my special mentions. I'm sure there'll be a few people out there not happy that I knocked Interstellar off.
You fucking dick!
What a great year, when I can list those 20 films, and people could still just mix them up and still create a great list, and there's still, you know, 5 or 6 films which I missed. 2014, you've been spectacular.